Not a lot you can do there.
Yep. You can do a little bit with outlets, but not a lot, right? You can.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Let's start up the IR camera. And the longer the fan runs, the more cold air is coming in.
Yep.
And those cold surfaces will create a temperature signature that we can see with an IR camera.
Right. And an IR camera is an infrared camera, correct?
Yes, it doesn't see the air, it sees the cold surfaces.
Uh-huh.
And what Steve and I are curious about is this tile ceiling. And at first glance, trying to focus here. There's a pretty good focus. We can see here. There's a good example of air leakage on that ceiling trim.
Yep.
The streaking is the cold air cooling the sheetrock.
Oh, this is lovely.
Streaking down.
Right, right.
The ceiling tile itself looks fairly airtight, although there, where are we looking? Yeah, there's a good example of a ceiling tile air leak.
Right, right.
Right? I'm not going to take pictures.
Yeah, my video is helping with
It's
that.
I'm just going to mention that the ceiling tile in the kitchen is air leaky.
Yep. And it's unpredictable where it is, but there's leaking spots.
There's some there.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But of course, if this ceiling was all sheetrock and taped to a sheetrock wall, it would be tighter.
Right. It would be more comfortable inside. Oh, this is great. So we're seeing the studs on
Yep.
the wall between
In the
Go for it.
R11 fiberglass is assumed is in that wall,
Yep.
performing at maybe R8 or
Right.
less, and the cold studs are showing in the IR camera.
Right.
That's called thermal bridging. Here's another, if I use my laser pointer right there,
Oh, right. Yeah.
that crack in the trim is just gushing.
Right. And you can tell that it has like a little spray area of.
Yeah, that's cooling the surface of the
That's embarrassing.
paneling. Typical outlet looks like that.
Oh, lovely.
Just generally cold
Right.
because air's coming in. Other things.
You want to look at the windows and.
Well, we know what windows look like. They generally look really bad.
Yeah.
But this this ceiling trim here
Uh huh.
is showing air leakiness.
Right. All around the masonry and.
Yeah.
How about over here?
There's a wood stove in the basement.
Yes. There used to be a
Hard.
brick place. There may have been a stove here as well, but it's hard to know.
What we're looking at here is the same air leakage related to the ceiling trim,
Yep.
and then some air leakage in the tile.
Right.
Possibly a chunk of insulation right there is missing.
Right. Like maybe it was pulled up or something, and.
Yeah, and cold air's running under the insulation bat.
Yep.
But that's what this looks like.
Yep.
An air leaky ceiling tile ceiling.
Right.
The window typically looks like this. Cold frame, because North American windows are not thermally broken.
Uh-huh.
So the jambs look cold. I'm seeing a little air leakage along the bottom there.
Right.
That might be representing. Oh, this one wasn't latched very well. And of course it's gushing.
Right. I'll take
I
that.
don't want to break that. The way to get these there. That should improve the blower door number by a teeny bit.
Okay.
Just very small.
That's funny.
Of course, the surfaces are still cold,
Right.
so we're still kind of seeing the same signature.
Yep.
Generally, North American windows are pretty cool. Yeah. There was air coming in here,
Uh-huh.
and it cooled the glass like this,
Right.
and it's still showing that. But
Yeah.
the attic hatch, other typical things, there's air leakage on the ceiling.
Right.
Other typical places are lights.
Right, because they don't have any compartment or closure over them, and
What's happening is the warm light fixture is maybe throwing off the IR camera, but there's some leaky ceiling tile,
yep.
and these are generally leaks, although this one's not. This one might be warmed by the light so much that the IR camera's not picking that up.
Right, because I can't see. It's defeated.
The attic hatch in here is typically a place. So the attic hatch has trim, which is showing air leakage, and the attic hatch itself is leaking right here.
Yep. The hatch has insulation, but not tons.
Of weather stripping.
Yeah.
So we weigh those down with 3/4 inch plywood and 4 or 5 layers of board foam so that they're heavy. They compress on a weather stripping that gets installed at the bottom.
Uh-huh. So that's a good lock.
Yeah. In this case, since we're maybe thinking about coming in the gable ends, we might consider just shutting that down. Closing it right up.
Oh, okay.
In here we have a sheetrock ceiling that looks a lot better thermally.
There's still
But
areas.
the ceiling trim is the weak spot.
Huh.
Maybe. Well, there's a door there that's showing some air leakage.
Right. It's a very old door.
We can see thermal bridging on the frame and the ceiling,
Yep.
but there is air leakage at the ceiling trim. Maybe that's just thermal signature.
But again, there's roof joists or roof trusses up here that are generally 2 feet on center, so you can kind of see the framing pattern.
Those trusses are represented by those
purple lines
across the ceiling there and there.
This is typically the coldest room in the house, predominantly because we have this exterior door that is probably a great candidate to replace.
Uh-huh. Other spots of interest.